So for the last 7 years, I've staked my name and my reputation on my recommendations on this channel. And today I'm going to give a recommendation that legally I can't inform you exactly what to do, but for the ones who do listen to me on a constant basis, the Cynthias, the Lagmeisters, the Kevins, and the Andys, I want you to do exactly what I say in this video. So first things first, people, and I want to tell you I made the same mistake that 80% of our nation is making. And today I want to correct that. Or at least tell my friends how important this is to their short-term future and possibly long-term. So today's subject matter that we'll be covering is what they call HYSAs. And what that stands for is High Yield Savings Account. So let's see where we can take it. So folks, let's start with what the problem is. It all kind of begins here. So this is Chase, which was my local bank for a long time. And there's nothing wrong with this bank. Matter of fact, I'm still banking here, and we'll come back to that in a little moment. But when I say there's nothing wrong with this bank, there's nothing wrong with it for checking. But as far as savings, forget about it, guys. Absolutely forget about it. So let me just share this. As far as their savings account, it's an absolute loser. In this building, you will earn a whole 0.01%, which, guys, is just a little bit above nothing. See, what it is they have to pay for all this. The building, the brick, the mortar, the employees, labor costs, and so on and so on. So for them to give you an interest rate that's gonna be beneficial to you is not gonna happen. It's just not. Not since the crash of 2008's housing market. Yeah, they used to give us a little bit of an interest rate at that point in time, but now the only way you're gonna get a good interest rate is by having a lot of money in this bank. I think they give 3.6% to anyone with $100,000 or above. The question being, who the hell got $100,000 just laying around? And folks, as we get out of here, that's where the high yield savings accounts come into place. So when we say HYSA, what exactly is a high yield savings account? Don't let the terminology fool you. Basically, it's just a regular savings account that you'll be able to do everything with, just like your normal savings account, except you'll be earning a high interest rate. And when I say high interest rate, I'm saying much higher than the 0.01 that I showed you earlier. So that rate is set by the Federal Reserve Board, which is the central bank of the United States. And currently in 2025, a rate of approximately 4.4% or above would be really a good rate. The rate will increase or decrease when the Federal Reserve Board sees fit. So you don't really have control over the situation. But there is a way around it. And that, my friends, is by opening multiple savings accounts. That way you'll be able to compete with the better rate and move your money if need be. Not that you have to if you feel comfortable with a particular bank, but just so you know you do have that option. Now, finding a good rate, that's really easy. Currently, the best website to do this would be bankrate.com. Now, what are the top 3 things that I'm looking for when I'm considering a high yield savings account? Number 1, FDIC insurance. 2, I'm looking for a place that has no minimum deposits and no minimum account balance. And number 3, I want something with ease of use. So a lot of people ask, how do you actually get your money out of here? Because folks, just to remind you again, this is not a checking. So you will not have an ATM card. You will not have a checkbook. This is strictly for holding money. That's what savings is all about. You want this money to grow as much as it possibly can and hopefully receive compound interest on it. And that really should help out with your short-term goals. That would include saving up for a car, down payment on a house, or whatever the case may be. So the reason they're able to provide you with this great rate is because the banks, folks, are online. That saves them money on the employees, the brick and mortar that I showed you at Chase, all the labor fees, and all the other jazz that has to go with owning a bank. And that's how they're able to provide us with at least, hopefully, a minimum of 4%. Matter of fact, depending on the bank that you choose, very few will have physical branches, but it works extremely well either on an app or on a website. And so that's where Chase still has the value, because I transfer everything from my online savings into my brick and mortar checking account. And linking the online accounts is super easy. They use a program called Plaid that links the two banks seamlessly, and then you're able to transfer money immediately. Now, I do want to forewarn everybody that all the money that is earned in this account, you do have to pay taxes on. But that can depend on your tax bracket. So it's going to be anywhere between 10 and 40%. And I just want to remind everybody, with the fluctuation of the interest rate, that this again is just for short-term earning. For long-term earning, I would recommend doing investments such as index funds, mutuals, or EFTs, basically stocks, where you're going to get a lot more value for your money. But always keep your money in one of these accounts that you're just holding and saving with. And I know 4% does not sound like a whole lot of money, guys. But with the rate of inflation that's currently overtaking us, it'll definitely help you keep up with the inflation rate. Much better than an account that actually gives you little to nothing or nothing at all. And folks, before I end this video, there's only pretty much one more thing I'd like to say. And please don't make this a one-time event as far as your deposit into this account. If anything, I'd rather you set up your direct deposit with this account so it can increase the value of your wealth over the course of time. So initially, I didn't know how far I was going to go into this subject matter. And this is just a general foundation. But if you want more detail on what I'm particularly doing, who I deal with, I can make a follow-up video. All you guys have to do is mention it in the comments, because there indeed are some pros and cons that I want to go over. Sorry about that, boss. So until next time, this is your boy Kachi's Kid. I'm about to get out of here before the clouds open up on us. You know your boy's gonna see you in the next one. Peace, ma.